What's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Wow! When members get exclusive content, hit the bell icon on my channel so that you receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. Leave a like and leave a comment. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Let's get into it. And this story once again takes us to the Los Angeles County Jail, replete, suffused with violence, rampant violence, because the politics are different in the Los Angeles County Jail than they are in a prison system. You can get away with things in the Los Angeles County Jail that's going to catch up with you in a prison system. I've seen many people in the Los Angeles County Jail, Southsiders and blacks, that were someone in the Los Angeles County Jail. They were strong and shot callers, etc. And then as soon as they got to prison, they got stabbed and went to PC. Immediately, as soon as they hit the yard, they were already waiting on them. But in the county jail, they were able to parade around as if they were of, immense stature, only to find out that they had dirt on their names. This is a Los Angeles County Jail. And there, the Southsiders ended up performing a very bloody, vicious removal. As I've said before, there in the Los Angeles County Jail, when you come from visit or you come from court or church or what have you, they put you in this little room, and there's a window right there where you can see right into the cage where the police are situated at, and there's a little screen on the window, but the window is, it's open. It's not a glass on the window. It doesn't close. So you can hear what the police are talking about. You can hear as people are passing by, what have you. And as you sit in this room or stand in this room, they call you out to go down to your tier. They call out tier by tier. Able Row, come out. Denver Row, come out. So 3 or 4 people that's on Denver Row, they come out. So that everybody comes back from wherever they're coming back from and just running wild in a module. They're going to put you in this room and then sort of bring you out slowly, a controlled release back to your cell. And in this room, many things go down, many conversations are had, many people are exposed because everyone is coming back from different places and all meeting up in this room. Many fights have transpired, many stabbings have even transpired right here in this dark room. And there, it was an OG dude from Swan. He was a very big dude. And this was on the 4,000 floor. This was back in 1994. My first time in the Los Angeles County Jail. Early 1994, like February of 1994. I was 19 years old, about to turn 20. Certainly unfamiliar with the politics of the Los Angeles County Jail, or certainly of the prison system. Had not yet made it to prison. I was on my way at this juncture. But I was quick to learn and quick to find out that you have to watch your back at all times there in the Los Angeles County Jail. And of course, in the prison system. The OG homie from Swan, he was an OG and he was a very big dude. I do not recall his name. But he had a lot of respect in the module. And he was in a cell with a couple of Southsiders. There was also another black in the cell with him. At this time, there were 6 people to a cell, sometimes 8 or 9 people. They had what they called floor sleepers. The system was overpopulated, as it is now, but certainly not as it was then. They were locking everyone up in Los Angeles. The police were for minor infractions, major infractions, what have you. And so the county jail was overpopulated because everyone was coming to jail for anything out there running the streets and gang banging. The police was locking you up. And so there would be 9 people inside of a cell, 10 people. It's illegal now. It can only be 4 people inside of these cells at the bottom tier and 2 people in the cells at the top tier. Whereas it used to be 6, 7 people in the cells on the top tier, even though it's only 4 bunks, and though it's only 6 bunks on the bottom tiers in the Los Angeles County Jail, there used to be 9 or 10 people inside of a 6-bunk cell, meant to only hold 6 people, and that was inhumane because the cells are so small to be trying to house 6 human beings. But this is what was going on in the Los Angeles County Jail, and it was very crooked. The police there, the deputies there, were setting inmates up. They were beating, unaliving, incarcerated people until it was all exposed. I said before in the prior video, I was going to get into that. How the Los Angeles County Jail came to be found out to be having this propensity towards violence and for violence for incarcerated people, mainly black and brown. But at this time, it was unchecked, and the police had what they used to call flashlight therapy, where they would beat you upside the head with the flashlight. And they were known for maiming, unaliving, and brutalizing incarcerated people. Sheriff Lee Baca subscribed to this and authorized it, signed off on it. He was later exposed. So the police was corrupt. And inside of this little room, the OG homie from Swan had come back from wherever he had come back from. And the police called him out of the room, right there to the cage, and told him that his Celly had just moved out while he was gone, the Southsider. And that the reason that the police had moved him was because the Southsider had told him, the police, that Swan was picking on him in there, was bullying him. Basically, he wanted to get to the other side of the module with his homeboy inside of the cell. This was a young Southsider, a kind of tall dude, I recall. But instead of just asking for the move, he told the police, he used Swan as an excuse and told the police that he didn't feel comfortable in the cell with Swan. That he thought that eventually Swan would attack him and etc. Basically, he threw Swan under the bus. Snitched on Swan. Well, it wasn't even snitching because Swan hadn't done nothing. He just used his name and used his stature of being a big black dude to tell the police, which was a Hispanic person, also this deputy, that he felt intimidated being in the cell with him to move him over here. And the police is stabbing the Southsider in the back because he's called Swan out of the room and is reiterating everything that the Southsider has told him. There are Southsiders inside of this little room. And one of them overheard the conversation. He heard for himself the police tell Swan what had transpired, why he had moved him, the Southsider. So when Swan came back into the room, the Southsider asked him what it went down exactly. Did he hear this correctly? Swan ran it all down to him. You heard him. Swan was hot because this dude didn't use his name, saying that he's in there trying to bully him or whatever. And none of this is true. They're getting along just fine in there. There's another Southsider in there. He just said this because he wanted to move. But you didn't use this man's name to do this. And the Southsider now, well, he's boiling hot. He's steaming. He runs down a tier, goes to another Southsider cell, and he's talking in Spanish and English. This is when you know they pissed off, because he's talking in English, and then when he gets animated and more emotional, he starts talking in Spanish. When he starts, basically, man, we got to get this dude. So they run over there, a couple of Southsiders, to where the new Southsider is living to his new cell. And I was surprised at this because I didn't think they would say anything to him or talk to him, that they would just get rid of him if they believed what the police was saying. The operative word being if, because again, the police are bereft of morality. They are devoid of ethics. They have zero in the Los Angeles County Jail at this juncture. It is not beyond them to make up something on someone whom they dislike, to try to start something to keep the heat off of themselves because of the way that they are prone to brutalize their incarcerated people, and eventually perhaps this will turn upon them. Nothing is out of the question with the deputies at this juncture in the Los Angeles County Jail. They have dubious morals. They can't be trusted. Nevertheless, for whatever reason, the Southsiders, they do believe what the deputy was telling this black dude, was telling OG Swan. They believe it. And they marched down there to the Southsider's cell and told him, homie, how did you get moved down here, homie? What did you tell the police, homie? The police said that you told them that your Celly was picking on you, that the big black dude in there was picking on you, and that you had to go essentially for your own safety. Is this true, homie? The Southsider had a very dubious response. His reasoning was faulty. His story had a few holes in it. But he said no, that he just asked the police to move him, and that the police brought up OG Swan. That the police said, well, why you want to move? Is the big black guy in there bothering you or something? You scared to be in there with the big black dude? He said, no, that's what the police was saying, homie. And he said, I told him I'm not scared of anyone. I just want to move over there, you know. Well, do you get along with your cellies? Yeah, we okay, you know. They do their thing and I do mine. This is what he said, that the police brought up OG Swan and that he had never threw Swan under the bus. That the police asked him if the reason he wanted to move was because of Swan, because he was afraid. He said that he had said no, he was not afraid of anyone. Although, you know, he doesn't necessarily get along. He would rather be in a cell with his people. Even though there's another Southsider in there, basically he don't want to be in a cell with blacks. He basically did say that he told the police that. He wanted to go in the cell over there where his homies is at, is all Southsiders in the cell. They have cells like that. It's all blacks in there, all Bloods, all Crips, all Southsiders. You know, they fix it up like that at this time. And this is where he wants to be. But the Southsider still said that he was in violation for telling the police that. That he wanted to move out because basically he didn't want to be in a cell with a black. That he didn't like black, so he wanted to move out. That basically that is throwing him under the bus. It is making it seem like they're in there doing something, perhaps. But the Southsiders did not necessarily believe his response either. They, again, believed the police. That he said exactly what the police said that he had said. Again, I don't know why they believe this. Perhaps they know him, they know his history, they know about him, they knew this police real well, and knew that the police, you know, wouldn't lie to him. I don't know. But they took the police's word for this. And it was probably true. Because the way the Southsider responded as to what he told the police, it did not really make sense. So they didn't believe it. Neither did I. And clearly, the decision had been made. Now, at this time, we used to walk to chow, what they call chow. That's supposed to be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But it's called chow, like puppy chow. Something like dog food. And I can't even recall, perhaps an OG can remind me in the comments, where we all used to go to chow. I think it was on the 9,000 floor. Go up the escalator and go to the 9,000 floor. This was, again, 30 years ago in 1994. And they stopped walking to chow decades ago. Right after this, they started just bringing the food to the cells and have not stopped. But at this time, every module can go out and go to chow. And many times, this is where things would transpire. Because people would just create a diversion towards the front of the tier. The whole tier is coming out. It's a lot of people. It's a massive movement. Easy to create a diversion and take care of business towards the back. Not to mention, the police are not keen on stopping anything. They do not care if a Southsider is back there getting stabbed up for snitching. They do not care if a black man is back there getting stabbed up for snitching or whatever other reason. They do not care. They are a big part of the problem at this time and even now. So it was really going to be easy pickings for the Southsiders, and they knew it. They did not waste time, as is apparently prone to their structure. That very day, later on at dinner time, they hit all of the cells on this tier where the Mexican, the Southsider, had just moved to with his homies. And clearly, his homies were in on it and already knew what was going on. They spread word rather fast, and they get word around. There ain't no damn cell phones in there. Particularly at this time, they got word fast. They was all on, everybody knew their positions and what they had to do. Who was going to be doing what. And everyone was aware already that the dude had to go and why. That fast. Their communication, it indeed was and is up to par. They racked the gates for chow. Everybody came out. And quickly, 3 Southsiders, they attacked the Southsider in question, the target. They did not hesitate. They got right on him. And at first, I didn't see any weapons. It looked like they were just whooping on him. So I just thought, okay, they're just finna whoop him real good because there's 3 or 4 of them on him. And then just, get him up out of here. Tell me you got to go. That's what I thought because I didn't see any weapons. They were just swinging on him. But I ended up seeing this often later on, that sometimes you just don't see the weapon, especially with someone who knows what they're doing. They're trying to hide the weapon from the gun tower or what have you, who then has the right to shoot if they see a weapon. So these people know what they're doing. They're skilled. And they're just pummeling him and got him on the ground. He tried to run towards the back. This was no safety net. He dug himself a bigger hole because there's a bigger diversion now towards the front. And you're further away from the police who may want to help you because you done ran towards the back. You're already towards the back. Now he's all the way at the back door, like almost trying to bang on the door or something. There's no way to get out of here. They got him on the ground. And one of them was on him, boom, 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 on his face. He had got on the ground like on his knees and was hovering over him, punching upon him. And when I saw a couple of them hitting him in his side, I thought those couldn't be punches. And I knew that there wasn't when I began to see the blood. It was leakage everywhere. And I looked, and as I got closer, and I'm looking at the dude's face, and it was unrecognizable, filled with blood. And the Southsiders, they stayed upon him for some time. But they had to move quickly because the blacks are heading towards the front. They're minding their business. The Southsiders are creating a diversion, but they're thinning out. The crowd is thinning out, so they have to finish. And they did quickly. And basically, like they had towels and all this already ready, like wiped themselves off, put the towel somewhere, and walked on the chow. And let the Southsider down there leaking bad. And everybody just went to chow as if nothing had happened. And when we came back, the Southsider was gone. They had picked him up off the ground. and sent him on his way. To my knowledge, no one had ever been sent to the hole for this, but this, again, was prevalent in the Los Angeles County Jail at this time. You can commit a crime. You could commit a stabbing, even an unaliving, and get away with it because the system itself was rotten and crooked. Venal deputies, bereft of morals, they would sanction any sort of violence, especially upon your own people, as long as it was not geared towards them, the deputies themselves. They would sanction the violence, set it up, let you fight, let you stab someone. This was common in the Los Angeles County Jail at this time. Ask anyone that was there back in those days in the early 90s, late 80s, etc. Early 80s, mid 80s. It was vicious, and no one can wash off the blood that stains the walls to this day in the Los Angeles County Jail. So the Southsiders believed that the younger Southsider had indeed used Swan as a pawn to get the police to move him. They believed it. Ask them why. I don't know. They believed it and they took action. They had to have really believed it for them to do what they ended up doing, which was viciously brutalizing the target. For them to do that, they wholeheartedly believed that he was a culprit, a Sammy the Bull, a rat that liked cheese. And they viciously and violently, as they have a propensity to do once a decision is made, removed him from the county jail, nearly removed him from the face of the earth. Be mindful of what you do. I'll be back. In the meantime, stay free, people.